Alex had never expected that moving to a space station would feel this strange. Floating in orbit around a small, glowing star, the station was a giant ring of shining metal, with corridors that curved in ways that made his stomach twist. It was exciting, yes, but also slightly unnerving. He had been chosen for a research program studying interstellar habitats, and part of the assignment involved sharing an apartment with a resident alien. When Alex first saw the apartment, it looked ordinary enough. 2 bedrooms, a small kitchen area, a living space with a few chairs, and a large window that looked out into the endless stars. But there was something odd about the energy in the place. A soft hum pulsed through the floor, faintly visible as shimmering ripples in the air when the light hit at just the right angle. Alex paused, wondering if it was just his imagination. His roommate arrived shortly after. Zoran stepped through the doorway like they had always belonged there. Alex froze for a moment. Zoran was taller than any human Alex had ever met, with smooth, translucent skin that seemed to glow softly. Across their body were luminous patterns, slowly changing color, like living circuits. Their eyes were large and dark, reflecting the distant stars. Zoran did not speak in words, at least not in a way Alex immediately understood. Instead, they made gentle sounds, half whistles and hums, and moved with precise, fluid gestures. Alex extended a hand, nervous. Hi. I'm Alex. Looks like we're roommates." Zoran tilted their head, and a soft glow pulsed in their chest. A small device on their wrist beeped. Suddenly, a calm, synthesized voice filled the room. "Greetings, Alex. I am Zoran. I acknowledge your presence." Alex blinked. "Right. Hello, Zoran." The alien made a series of gestures that looked almost like a wave, then a bow. Alex laughed nervously. "Okay. That's a nice wave." For the first few hours, Alex tried to get comfortable. Zoran seemed polite, but extremely focused on the apartment. They checked devices in the corners, touched panels along the walls, and occasionally hummed softly. Alex noticed that Zoran seemed concerned about the energy in the apartment. Every time Alex moved, Zoran's patterns flashed brighter, almost alarmingly. By the evening, Alex felt tired but satisfied. He had unpacked, explored a bit, and even attempted to make some space tea from a small replicator. Everything seemed normal until Zoran approached him. "You will remain in your sleeping chamber tonight," Zoran said, the synthesized voice calm but firm. Alex blinked. "Excuse me?" Zoran's patterns glowed brighter. "It is necessary for proper energy recalibration. You must not leave the chamber until the cycle is complete." Alex laughed nervously, thinking this was some strange joke. "Wait, are you saying I can't leave my bedroom? All night?" Zoran nodded. "Affirmative. You may experience slight discomfort if you resist, but the chamber is safe." Alex's heart raced. I think I need to understand this better." "Why? What does it even mean?" Zoran gestured, and a holographic projection appeared above their wrist device. It showed a network of glowing lines moving through the apartment. The lines shifted erratically as Alex moved near them. "Your presence affects my energy flows," the voice explained. "It is unpredictable. Containment is necessary." Alex rubbed his temples. He had trained for space missions, zero-gravity maneuvers, and even alien first contact protocols, but this was new. "So, you're saying I'm locked in? Because I might, what, mess up your energy?" Zoran's glow pulsed rhythmically. "Correct. Temporary confinement ensures safety for both parties." Alex groaned, sinking onto the bed. The room was small but comfortable, with a window showing a clear view of the swirling stars outside. He tried to reason with himself. "Okay, Alex. This is new. It's strange, but it's not dangerous." Hours passed. Alex tried to read, tried to stretch, tried to communicate again with Zoran, who occasionally hummed outside the bedroom door. The alien never left the apartment, except to monitor panels or make small adjustments. Alex realized he was trapped by an alien roommate who seemed polite but utterly determined. But Alex was human. And humans, as history had shown, were resilient and curious creatures. If Zoran had rules, Alex would learn them, understand them, and maybe even find a way to navigate them. First, he observed, every time Zoran left the room, the air seemed to shimmer less. The aliens' patterns on the walls dimmed slightly. Energy was clearly flowing differently, responding to movement and presence. Alex began noting times and gestures. If he could predict Zoran's schedule, he could better understand the rules of this strange home. Then, he experimented cautiously. He tried small movements, stretching his arms, touching the door. Each time, Zoran's glow flashed brighter. Almost like a warning, Alex retreated quickly, realizing he had to be smarter. Alex also tried communication. He drew simple symbols on paper, asking Zoran questions. Why must I stay here? How long? What happens if I move? The alien read the notes carefully, then projected answers through their device. The translations were sometimes awkward, sometimes poetic. Zoran explained that the energy cycles were tied to their biology, and while humans didn't normally require such cycles, the alien's body was sensitive to the presence of unpredictable energies, which apparently included Alex. Despite the strangeness, Alex began to admire Zoran's dedication. The alien had rules, and a discipline that humans rarely followed. And yet, the alien was polite, precise, and not aggressive. The conflict was strange, but it was not dangerous. Hours passed, and Alex felt tired. He floated near the window, looking at the vast emptiness of space. For a moment, he felt small and insignificant. But then he reminded himself that humans had crossed oceans, landed on moons, and even traveled to distant space stations to study the stars. This was just another challenge, different, alien, but something he could handle. He decided to plan. If Zoran had rules, he could learn them, respect them, and even find ways to cooperate. Perhaps he could design a way to keep both of them comfortable, maybe a small device that would shield his energy, allowing Zoran to complete their cycles without having to confine him. For now, Alex had to wait. He had to learn patience, observe carefully, and think creatively. And as he floated in the small bedroom, listening to the soft hum of Zoran's devices outside, he realized something important. Humanity had survived and thrived in the universe, not just because of strength, but because of curiosity, intelligence, and adaptability. By the time the first light of the artificial morning began to glow through the small window, Alex had a plan forming in his mind. He would not remain frustrated or trapped. He would study, experiment, and understand. He would find a way to coexist with Zoran not by resisting, but by learning. And maybe, just maybe, by the next night, Alex would no longer feel like a prisoner in his own bedroom. Because humans, Alex thought with a small smile, had a remarkable way of turning challenges into opportunities. The next night, Alex woke to the soft hum of Zoran's energy devices again. The alien's patterns pulsed outside the bedroom, casting faint, dancing lights through the slightly open door. Alex had spent the day thinking about the previous night, observing Zoran's routines from his limited perspective, and reading through the station's digital manuals about energy systems, alien physiology, and the unusual properties of the apartment. He realized that if he wanted to coexist, he needed to understand Zoran's needs more deeply and fast. Alex stretched, floating slightly above the bed due to the low gravity in the station. He had grown accustomed to this sensation in the past few days, but tonight, his focus was on something else. "I'm going to figure this out," he muttered to himself. "I need a plan." He looked around the small bedroom. There were a few control panels on the walls, some personal items left by Zoran, and a small window that showed the distant stars and the station's curved rings. His mind raced as he considered the possibilities. How could he understand an alien who didn't speak the same language, whose biology depended on energy patterns he couldn't even see fully? Alex began observing Zoran more carefully. He noticed small patterns in the alien's behavior. Zoran only moved between certain areas at specific intervals, and their glow pulsed faster whenever Alex shifted his position near the door. It was like a living puzzle, and Alex loved puzzles. He floated over to the door and placed a hand gently on the frame. Instantly, the hum outside intensified, and the patterns on the walls shimmered in brighter, faster sequences. Alex pulled back, noting the reaction. So my movement affects their energy flows. Got it. For the next hour, Alex experimented carefully, making tiny movements, observing, taking notes, and even sketching patterns. He realized Zoran's energy was sensitive to unpredictability, quick movements, loud sounds, or even emotional spikes. But slower, calm actions seemed to reduce the intensity. I think I understand a little, Alex whispered. You need balance, right? And I'm unpredictable. He smiled faintly. Well, I can fix that, I think. Next, Alex tried communicating more effectively. He took a small tablet and drew symbols. Simple stick figures showing movement and questions. Why lock me in? What happens if I leave? He wrote. Placing the tablet near the door, he waited. Zoran approached cautiously. Their glow dimmed slightly as they read the symbols. Then, projecting a small holographic image from their wrist device, Zoran displayed glowing lines that moved throughout the apartment, brightening and dimming in response to Alex's sketches. The voice translated, carefully. Containment is temporary. Purpose, energy recalibration. Uncontrolled human presence disrupts flows. Possible minor discomfort for both parties if containment ignored. Alex frowned, reading the words carefully. Okay. So you're not trying to be mean. You're just afraid I'll disrupt your energy. Zoran tilted their head. Glow pulses slowed, almost contemplative. Correct. Your energy patterns are unpredictable. Confinement ensures safety for both. Temporary, until calibration ends. Alex took a deep breath. All right. I can respect that. But maybe there's another way. The next hours passed in careful observation. Alex floated near the door, moved slowly, tested his presence at different distances, and even tried mimicking Zoran's gestures. He noticed a small difference. When he mirrored their movements calmly, the energy lines shimmered less. It was a breakthrough. He could influence the energy without causing disruptions. Then came the first small experiment. Alex built a simple barrier using items in the room, a small foldable panel from the furniture, a thin metal sheet, and a soft cloth to cover it. He placed it between himself and the door, floating above it slightly. The energy lines outside the door shimmered, but not as intensely. Zoran paused, their glow shifting slowly, as if thinking. Finally, the alien spoke through the device. Human. Pattern observed. Adjustment, effective. Continue monitoring. Alex grinned. Yes. That worked. For the first time, he felt like he was not just trapped but actively participating in a solution. He was learning, observing, and adapting the human way. The rest of the night was spent in careful experimentation. Alex learned how to move without triggering strong reactions from Zoran's energy flows. He noticed small details. Certain gestures caused the lines to flare, others to calm. Even breathing in a slower rhythm seemed to affect the energy. By the end of the night, Alex felt a growing sense of control, not dominance, but understanding. It was also during this time that Alex discovered Zoran's personality in a new way. While they were strict about energy, Zoran also had a gentle curiosity. When Alex tried to draw little shapes in the air, Zoran's glow followed, mimicking some of the curves and lines. It was as if the alien was testing human creativity, just as Alex was testing alien rules. By early morning, Alex had a plan. He would propose a compromise. He could maintain a small shield or barrier that isolated his unpredictable energy patterns while letting him move freely. This way, Zoran's recalibration would not be disrupted, and Alex would no longer be confined. He even sketched a rough design, simple but effective, using light materials from the apartment's storage. When Zoran returned to the room, Alex presented his idea. Look, I think I can help. If I use this shield, I can move around, and you can still do your recalibration thing without worrying about my energy." Zoran's glow pulsed slowly. They examined the makeshift device, floating closer. "Human," proposal observed. "Logical. If device absorbs unpredictable energy. Containment. Unnecessary. Potential for cohabitation increased." Alex felt a rush of relief. "So, you're okay with me moving?" "Affirmative," Zoran said, with precautions. For the first time, Alex experienced what felt like mutual trust. Not complete understanding, Zoran's biology and energy systems were still alien, but a bridge had been built. They had begun to communicate, experiment, and find common ground. The rest of the day was spent in cautious collaboration. Alex tested the shield, floating through the room while Zoran monitored energy flows. The alien occasionally made soft whistles, which Alex interpreted as approval. He even managed to help adjust one of Zoran's devices, noticing that slight misalignments had been causing minor fluctuations in energy. Zoran seemed impressed, not verbally, but in the subtle changes of their glow and pulses. By nightfall, Alex felt a sense of accomplishment. The apartment no longer felt like a trap. It felt like a lab, a playground, and a place of discovery. Humans, he thought, were exceptional at adapting to new challenges, and even aliens seemed to notice. Before they both settled for sleep, Alex floated near the window, looking at the stars. He felt a spark of excitement. This wasn't just about surviving a night locked in a bedroom. It was about learning, adapting, and building a bridge between species. If humans could solve this challenge, what else could they accomplish in the universe? Zoran approached, their glow softening. They hovered near the window, mimicking Alex's gaze. A small gesture, a shared moment of curiosity and wonder. No words were needed. In that moment, Alex realized that humans and aliens could coexist, not by being the same, but by respecting each other's needs, learning from each other, and collaborating. Alex smiled. "Tomorrow," he whispered, "we try new experiments. Together." And for the first time, he felt excitement instead of frustration. The night was no longer a trap, it was an adventure. The space station was quiet, almost eerily so. As the artificial night cycle began, Alex floated near the window of his small bedroom, staring out at the stars. The apartment felt calmer now, a result of the new system he and Zoran had designed. The makeshift shield absorbed Alex's unpredictable energy, allowing Zoran to continue their nighttime recalibration without locking him in. For the first time, Alex felt like he was part of something bigger, like a partner rather than a prisoner. But space was never truly quiet. Just as Alex began to relax, a soft alarm chimed in the background, barely noticeable at first. Then another, louder this time. The hum of the station's systems shifted, vibrating through the walls. Alex sat up, floating in midair. "What now?" he muttered, his voice barely a whisper. Zoran appeared, their glow flashing irregularly. The alien's translator device emitted a calm but urgent voice. "Unexpected energy fluctuation detected. Critical systems affected. Immediate attention required." Alex's heart raced. "Critical systems? Like what? Oxygen? Gravity?" Zoran nodded once, a quick, precise gesture. "Correct. Minor failure in gravity stabilization and energy circulation. If not addressed, station integrity could be compromised." Alex swallowed. He had trained for emergencies, but he had never expected one to happen so soon in his small shared apartment. Still, he was human, and humans thrived under pressure. He floated toward the door, shield in hand, prepared to help. The two of them navigated the narrow corridor outside the apartment. Gravity was fluctuating slightly, making every movement slow and weightless. Alex carefully stabilized himself, using the walls and handrails to move. Zoran moved beside him, their glow illuminating the path, guiding him through the labyrinth of the station's metal corridors. "Which way?" Alex asked, though he already had a plan. Zoran gestured, projecting a holographic map into the air. The glowing lines shifted and pulsed, showing the area affected. Alex studied the patterns quickly. "We need to reach the energy node near the main control room," he concluded. "I'll handle manual adjustments if you guide me." Together, they reached the room. The energy node floated in the center of a small chamber, a complex orb of light and wires. Small sparks flickered across the surface, indicating instability. Alex's mind raced. He had studied alien energy systems before, but this was live, real, and delicate. "Careful," Zoran cautioned. "Uncalculated contact may cause overload. Shield your energy." Alex activated his makeshift shield, which hummed softly as it absorbed his unpredictable energy patterns. With Zoran hovering close by, he extended his hands toward the node. He felt the vibrations of the alien energy, responding to his presence. "Just like a puzzle," Alex whispered. Piece by piece, the first adjustment worked. Sparks diminished, and the orb glowed more steadily. But suddenly, a surge of energy pulsed outward, knocking Alex backward. He caught himself on the wall, shield protecting him from the full force. Zoran's glow flared, alarms beeping softly. Alex's mind raced. He scanned the node, noting irregularities in the wiring and energy flow. "If I reroute this line, maybe that will stabilize it," he improvised, using tools and small wires from a maintenance kit floating nearby. Zoran observed silently, their glow pulsing in patterns that seemed almost approving. Minutes felt like hours. The energy node flickered dangerously, then slowly calmed. Alex adjusted a final connection, and the orb stabilized completely. The soft hum of the station returned to normal, and the gravity in the room evened out. Alex floated back, exhaling in relief. "We did it," he said, voice shaky but triumphant. Zoran's glow pulsed slowly, in a rhythm Alex had begun to recognize as approval. The translator device emitted a simple phrase: humanинgenuity. Effective. Appreciation expressed. Alex grinned, floating toward the window. "I guess humans are good at emergencies," he said, half to himself, half to Zoran. The rest of the night became a mixture of exploration and humor. Alex discovered that even in the most delicate situations, human creativity shone. He found small ways to adapt, using floating tools as improvised stabilizers, marking patterns in zero gravity with light beams, and even making small jokes mid-repair to relieve tension. Zoran seemed to respond positively to these small displays of humanity. When Alex made a clever adjustment to a panel, Zoran's glow shimmered brighter, almost as if the alien was smiling. When Alex joked about how humans always seem to make a mess before fixing it, Zoran mimicked the gesture, a subtle flick of their arms that Alex interpreted as laughter. By the middle of the night, the two had finished repairs. The station systems hummed steadily, gravity returned to normal, and energy flows were smooth once again. Alex floated back to the apartment, tired but exhilarated. "You did well," Zoran said, their voice calm, but filled with a hint of admiration. "Your presence, beneficial, unexpected, but effective." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. "Thanks. I guess humans, we just don't give up easily." Zoran's glow pulsed, slower this time. Observation, correct. Humans exhibit resilience and ingenuity. Traits, admirable. Alex laughed quietly. "I'll take that as a compliment." As they returned to the apartment, Alex floated near the window again, watching the stars. He realized that Zoran's world was so different, and yet, humans and aliens could find ways to work together. It wasn't about being the same, it was about understanding, respect, and collaboration. Zoran hovered nearby, their glow reflecting in the window alongside Alex's own reflection. There was a strange comfort in it, a silent acknowledgement that they were no longer just roommate and prisoner. They were partners, navigating the challenges of the universe together. Before drifting off to sleep, Alex felt a spark of excitement. He thought about all the possibilities, experiments, new devices, shared discoveries, and even stories from Earth he could teach Zoran. Perhaps next night, they could explore more safely, with the shield and their new understanding in place. And for the first time, Alex realized that even in a tiny apartment on a distant space station, humans had a way of shining, not just through strength or speed, but through cleverness, adaptability, humor, and courage. Traits that Zoran now clearly recognized, and perhaps even admired. Alex drifted into sleep with a smile, knowing that tomorrow would bring new adventures. The nights were no longer scary. They were opportunities to learn, to explore, and to prove, once again, that humans had something special, something that could even impress an alien. Because in the vastness of space, where stars glimmered like scattered diamonds, humans had a spark of their own. One that was bright, clever, and full of potential. And Alex, floating in the quiet hum of the station, felt proud to be human. The following day, the apartment felt different. It was quiet, but no longer tense. The small shield Alex had created rested against the wall, ready to be used during Zoran's energy cycles. The hum of the apartment felt calm, almost welcoming. For the first time since he arrived on the space station, Alex felt at ease, not trapped, not confused, but proud of what humans could do when they observed, adapted, and respected the rules of an alien world. Alex floated to the window, watching the distant stars swirl gently against the blackness of space. He reflected on the last few nights, the initial confinement, the frustration, the careful observation, the experiments, and the midnight emergency that had tested both his courage and cleverness. And he realized something important. Humans were remarkable not just for their strength, but for their curiosity, ingenuity, and empathy. Traits that had now earned him Zoran's trust. Zoran approached, gliding silently, their patterns glowing softly in shades of blue and green. Alex smiled at the alien. "Ready for another night?" he asked. Zoran's translator device emitted a calm tone. "Affirmative. Your cooperation has been beneficial. Tonight's recalibration may proceed with human freedom maintained." Alex chuckled. Finally. No locks. Zoran tilted their head, a gesture that Alex now recognized as a kind of alien smile. Human solution. Effective. Appreciation expressed. The night began. Zoran started their energy cycle, while Alex floated nearby, shield active but mostly observing. He noticed how delicate the balance was. The patterns of energy flowed like water through invisible channels, responding to both Zoran and him. Alex had learned to move slowly, breathe calmly, and even mirror some of Zoran's gestures. The result was harmony, a coexistence that neither had experienced before. For a while, they worked silently, studying the rhythms of the apartment together. Alex realized that the alien was not only recalibrating energy, but also teaching him something. The patience and precision required to coexist with Zoran were lessons in human adaptability and humility. He admired the alien for their discipline, just as Zoran had come to admire him for his cleverness and courage. Hours passed, and Alex began experimenting. He floated near one of Zoran's energy nodes, carefully testing minor adjustments with the shield active. To his delight, the flows responded positively. Zoran's glow pulsed more steadily, almost in approval. Alex realized that humans had a natural gift for problem-solving, improvising solutions, and creating harmony even in situations they didn't fully understand. Traits that could shine across galaxies. Then came a small, unexpected challenge. A micrometeorite hit the station's outer hull. The vibration was subtle, but it caused a ripple through the energy channels. Alex immediately noticed the fluctuations. "Zoran, check the node," he called out. Zoran's patterns shifted rapidly, signaling alarm. Detected. Assistance required. Alex floated closer to the affected node. Using the shield, he carefully rerouted minor flows, preventing the ripple from destabilizing the entire system. Zoran hovered beside him, guiding with precise gestures and soft pulses of light. Together, human ingenuity and alien precision prevented a potential problem from becoming a disaster. When the micrometeorite impact had passed, the apartment returned to calm. Zoran's glow slowed, settling into a rhythm that Alex now recognized as satisfaction. Human. Effective under unexpected conditions, Zoran said. Resourcefulness, admirable. Hardly resource. Resourcefulness, admirable, Alex grinned. Thank you. I guess humans have a habit of adapting quickly. Zoran tilted their head. Observation, correct. Humans show resilience, cleverness, and calmness. Traits. Valuable. Alex floated to the window again, gazing at the swirling stars. You know, I think that's what makes humans special. We find solutions even when we don't fully understand the problem. We try, fail, and try again until we get it right. Zoran's glow pulsed slowly, almost contemplatively. Affirmation noted. Human traits. Appreciated. The night continued, but now it was different. There was no fear. No frustration. Only curiosity, cooperation, and a growing friendship. Alex began sharing small stories from Earth, how humans had crossed oceans, built machines to fly, and explored their own planets. Zoran listened, their glow shifting with every tale, showing interest, surprise, and sometimes amusement. In return, Zoran shared insights from their home planet stories of floating cities, energy cycles, and advanced technologies. Alex was fascinated. He realized that humans could learn from aliens just as aliens could learn from humans. Knowledge, he thought, was a bridge across species and worlds. As the night cycle drew to a close, Alex floated near Zoran. I think we make a pretty good team, he said. Humans and aliens. Different, but compatible. Zoran's glow brightened. Observation correct. Compatibility achieved through mutual respect and understanding. Human ingenuity. Appreciated. Alex laughed quietly. I like that. Appreciated. Maybe someday, humans and aliens can live together everywhere, learning from each other. Zoran's translator emitted a soft tone, almost musical. Possibility exists. Cooperation beneficial. Mutual growth. Likely. The next morning, the apartment felt alive in a new way. The hum of the energy flows was steady, balanced, and harmonious. Alex felt a sense of pride. He had faced the initial challenge of confinement, observed carefully, experimented, and found solutions that allowed both him and Zoran to coexist. Humanity had proven, in a small way, that they could adapt, solve problems, and create harmony, even in alien worlds. Zoran floated to the window with him. Together, they looked out at the vastness of space. Alex realized that even though he had come to the station to study and observe, he had learned something far more valuable. The strength of humans was not just in physical ability, but in curiosity, creativity, courage, and empathy. He turned to Zoran. You know, I think humans have a spark. Something that makes us keep going, keep learning, and keep trying, no matter what. And I think that's why we can survive anywhere, even here, with you. Zoran's glow shimmered, pulsing with warmth. Affirmation noted. Human spark. Remarkable. Traits. Worthy of admiration. Alex smiled, feeling proud. Thanks. That means a lot coming from you. In the weeks that followed, their cooperation deepened. They experimented with new energy flows, tested minor adjustments, and even created small routines that blended human habits with alien cycles. Nights that were once stressful became opportunities for learning, discovery, and even shared amusement. Alex found that humor, a trait humans cherished, could calm energy fluctuations. Zoran discovered that small human improvisations could complement their precise routines. One evening, as they floated near the window, Alex said quietly, You know, I think this is what humans do best. We don't just survive. We adapt. We learn. We find ways to work with the world around us, and even make it better. Zoran's glow pulsed slowly, in a rhythm Alex had come to recognize as deep approval. Observation accurate. Humans. Admirable. Cooperation. Successful. Mutual benefit achieved. Alex laughed softly. Then, I guess we're officially a team. Human and alien. Different, but working together. Zoran tilted their head, their patterns flashing in playful hues. Team. Designation accepted. Team, and in that small apartment on a distant space station, orbiting a lonely star. Two very different beings. One human, one alien. Floated side by side, they had discovered something important. That understanding, respect, and collaboration could bridge worlds, species, and even the vast unknowns of space. Alex felt a deep sense of pride. Not because he had solved an alien problem, or even survived being locked in a bedroom, but because he had demonstrated what humans could do. Observe, learn, adapt, and shine even in the most unexpected circumstances. As he floated near the window one last time before sleep, Alex realized that this was what humanity had always done. From Earth's oceans to its skies, from its cities to its space stations, humans had thrived not just because of strength, but because of intelligence, curiosity, courage, and empathy. Traits that could light up the darkness of the universe itself. Zoran hovered nearby, their glow soft and steady, almost like a comforting presence. Alex smiled. For the first time, he didn't feel like a guest or a stranger. He felt at home, and in that moment, he knew it was true. Humans could shine anywhere, even in the vastness of space, even alongside aliens, and even in a tiny bedroom that had once felt like a prison, because humanity's spark was unstoppable, and sometimes, just sometimes, it could even impress an alien.